Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, if you're stumbling across this video, I would hope that you're a new boxing fan, or that if you're not a boxing fan, that you're considering becoming a boxing fan. So in this video, I'm gonna list the reasons why I think you should become a boxing fan and why I think it's fun being a boxing fan. Okay? Now, boxing is everybody's favorite sport. Yes, I said it. Boxing is everybody's favorite sport. Now, people may say, well, no, that's not true. Football or soccer, as it's called in America, is everybody's favorite sport. Or basketball is everybody's favorite sport. Or baseball is everybody's favorite sport. Or cricket is everybody's favorite sport. And those sports are popular. We're not gonna deny the popularity of those sports. But I'm gonna steal Max Kellerman's quote for a second. Max Kellerman had a great quote about this. He said this: if there was four corners, if you were on the street and there was four corners, and in one corner they were playing basketball, the other corner they were playing soccer, football, or if the other corner, and the other corner they were playing baseball, and in the other corner they were playing, and there was a fight going on, what's everybody gonna go watch? They're gonna go watch the fight. They're gonna go watch the fight. So whether people know it or not, boxing is everybody's favorite sport. So if boxing is your favorite sport, that's why you're on this video. But listen, aside from that, let's talk about what the fun parts about being a boxing fan are. Now, boxing is a beautiful sport because there's very few sports in the world that are as worldwide and global as boxing. You got great fighters that come from all around the world. You got your great fighters like Terrence Crawford that come from America. You got great fighters that come from Mexico like Canelo and Juan Gallo Estrada. You got great fighters that come from the UK like Anthony Joshua. Okay? You got fighters that come from places, small places like Nicaragua, like Roman Cholatito Gonzalez. But boxing, there's somebody from every country in boxing. You know, the Ukraine has Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk, and these are very talented fighters I'm naming. If you don't know who these guys are, I would highly suggest, if you're a new boxing fan, that you guys look these guys up. But boxing is one of the most global sports in the world, and you got so many cultures, so many backgrounds, so many different stories and people and characters represented, and that's probably the best part about being a boxing fan is the characters that this sport produces. Some of the most entertaining characters in all of the sports have been boxers, whether we're talking about Muhammad Ali or Ricardo Mayorga, or even a more modern day example like of a Tyson Fury or somebody like that. You know, the bravado, the characters, the storylines, the drama of boxing. It's the theater of the unexpected, and the beautiful thing about boxing is that it's a one-on-one sport. So it's really just mano y mano. It's man versus man. You know, and the good thing about boxing is it's the sport of ultimate rags to riches. You could be somebody who comes from the poorest of the poor. You know, you could live in a building with nothing but rats and roaches in the ground that smells like piss on the side of the road. And if you have it in your heart to dedicate yourself to the sport, if you have it in your heart to apply yourself and hone your skills year after year, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, if you can rise to the occasion and apply these skills in a certain manner in a big fight and beat another elite fighter, then you have the right to call yourself champion. And that's the beautiful thing about boxing. It doesn't matter what your background is, your socio-economical standing. Anybody can box in the world. They just have to have it in their heart to apply themselves. And I think that's the beauty of boxing. Very few people are willing to do it at the top level, but anybody can do it. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Dedicate yourself and apply yourself, and you have a chance to be successful. It's like anything else in life, but so few are able to do it. So those are just a couple of the reasons why you should follow boxing. You know, there's very few things in sports like a good fight, like a great fight. You know, whether we're talking about Leonard Hagler or Duran Leonard, or you know, Gotti Ward, or Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield, or Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston, or Tyson Fury versus Wilder 2, or Tyson Fury versus Wilder 1, or Roman Gonzalez versus Carlos Cuadras. There's always something about good big-time boxing, or just a good fight in general. Doesn't necessarily have to be between two big names, but there's nothing quite like a good fight. And I think the reason why there's nothing like it is because boxing takes man back to his primal instincts. You know, men, we're hunters. We want smoke. We want to see who's the top dog. You know, every man has that thing in him. Any red-blooded high testosterone level man has that thing in him where it's like, they want to prove that they're that guy, they're that alpha male, that alpha dog. So, I think boxing does a great job taking man back to his primal instincts, if that makes sense. So, boxing is just a great sport, and the great thing about it is if you're a boxing fan and if you're somebody who's watching my channel, we get into a lot of spirited debates. We get into a lot of spirited conversations regarding the fight game and our favorite fighters and the history of boxing, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're somebody who's gonna follow boxing here on YouTube, which I think is very fun to do, if you get involved, you wind up making a lot of friends around the world. Like I've had the chance to make a lot of friends around the world. I have people that I would consider friends all around America. I have people in England. I have people in the UK, Ireland, just all kinds of different countries, and it's so fun. It's just such a fun thing to do. It's such a fun community to be a part of. And that's just what it is. And my thing is this: if you really want to understand and get involved in boxing, I would suggest too that you go to your local boxing club, your boxing gym, and you don't gotta necessarily train to become a professional fighter, but take up some fitness classes. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your discipline. It's good for your self-confidence. And what's going to wind up happening is you're going to get a better understanding for what just a small understanding for what the fighters go through in the ring. And that's actually one thing that helped me understand boxing on a deeper level was getting in there and sparring hundreds of rounds. When I was a bit younger, I started boxing at a place called Canino's Boxing Gym, which is in Dania Beach, Florida, which is a small little boxing gym. It's tucked away in this little loft in a small town, and just about 45 minutes north of Miami, called Dania Beach. But in these gyms, I got to spar some people, and I've experienced many different things in a boxing ring, so it helps me talk about the sport of boxing. But you should be a boxing fan. If for no other reason, just be a boxing fan because it's fun. It's fun. The sport is full of characters. It's very entertaining, and like at a time like this during the coronavirus, where most people are panicking as to what to do, if you were a boxing fan, you could just binge watch fights, and that's one way to keep your mind occupied. So. Be a boxing fan because it's fun. Be a boxing fan because it's entertaining. Boxing isn't a perfect sport. Like anything else, it's not a perfect sport. There is some things that aren't the best. Sometimes boxing is very corrupt, openly corrupt. Sometimes boxing can, as much as it can lift you up, it can bring you back down and stab you in the heart, because sometimes the corruption can get in the way of what was an actual great fight. And it happens a lot of times in boxing, but I would argue that's part of the allure of the sport, unfortunately. But anyway, be a boxing fan, all right? It's a great sport. It's got some of the greatest athletes in the world. I think boxers are the greatest athletes in the world. It's not even close. No disrespect to any of the basketball players, baseball players, soccer players, American football players, hockey players, but it's not even close to me. MMA fighters as well. It's not even close to me that boxers are the best athletes in the world. What these guys go through just to have to be ready for not even a 12-round fight, but a 4-round fight is absolutely remarkable. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe what I'm saying, I don't care how athletic you are. If you haven't boxed, if you don't believe what I'm saying, go to your local boxing club and start training for real, and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, I digress. Become a boxing fan. If you're a new boxing fan and you don't know exactly how to get started, ask me in the comments down below, like, what are some fights or fighters you should check out, and I'll give you some recommendations, because I want everybody to follow this great sport because it is the best sport in the world, in my opinion. And I hope this video helped you guys out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. So yeah, just give me some recommendations on, or if you have any questions about the sport of boxing, if you have any questions about fighters or what fights you should watch or anything like that, drop them in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.